Hi, this is Eric with Orbtr, and I'm going to show you how to configure and begin using the email marketing module in Orbtr, and how you can create email newsletters really easily in Orbtr and leverage them on through Mailchimp or other email marketing systems. So the first thing you want to do is you want to go under the main Orbtr menu to configuration, which you can find right here. And we'll skip down. We'll assume that you've already got the rest of the settings configured, and we're going to skip down to configure email marketing. The first thing you need is a Mailchimp API key, assuming, of course, that you're using Mailchimp. If you're not using Mailchimp, we'll get to that in just a minute. The way to get a Mailchimp API key is you just log into your account, and it'll take you to this screen. And under the main account menu here, there's an item called API Keys and Authorized Apps, and we'll click this, and you'll see that all my API keys are right here. If I've already created these keys, but if I don't have any keys, all I do is click Add a Key, and a new one will show up. And all I do is I take this and I copy it, and I paste it into this field here, and we're ready to go. I'll add a from name that I want for my emails. I'll add a return email address. If I have a standard signature that I like to use on all my email newsletters and autoresponders and things like that, I can enter that here. And this, of course, works just like any other WordPress WYSIWYG editor. And then I'm ready to go. If I'm not using Mailchimp, what I'll do is I'll click Turn Off Sending to Mailchimp. That'll allow me to create emails in Orbtr and then import them later into my non-Mailchimp email marketing tool. If I intend to do that, but I don't click this check, the application is going to keep looking for Mailchimp, and it's going to try to send information to Mailchimp, and you'll get errors. So it's really, really important that if you don't want to use Mailchimp, that you click this option. This option allows all of the links that are embedded into the email template itself to be tracked using the Orbtr lead tracking system. So within your email template, and we'll show you how to configure that in a second, but within your email template, there are going to be potentially navigation items. There will be you might be using blog posts and things like that. And so what this will do is it'll enable the clicks from your email template to be tracked in the Orbtr lead tracking system. If you're not using Mailchimp, then you can still use this functionality. All you do is you'll have to go into the documentation for your email marketing system, and just about all of them have available a merge tag for email address. And you want to look that up, copy and paste it here, and that'll override the default in the system, which is the Mailchimp email merge tag. So once I'm all done with this, I hit save, and I'm ready to look at my template options. So what I'll do is under the email marketing menu, I just go to template setup. And we have a fairly simple step-by-step template wizard. All of the settings that you configure here will apply to all of the standard Orbtr templates. You also have an option for a plain text or HTML email, which is useful sometimes. And you'll just walk through this step by step. We have help screens at every step showing you exactly what you're editing. So we don't want people to get confused and have to do additional trial and error to make sure they understand exactly which controls go where. We've got help screens which show you exactly what's what. And once you get to the bottom, you can do a preview. Make sure you save your options before you attempt to preview. It won't look right, and you're ready to go. You do this once, and all of your templates are styled. It takes about somewhere between 5 and 15 minutes, depending on how quick you go and how much you end up adjusting yourself along the way. Once we have our template set up, we can go to all emails, which shows us all of our email newsletters, or we can create a new one. And so I'm going to edit this, and all of the options here work just like you're used to in regular WordPress pages and posts. And you type in your content here. Again, it's just a standard WordPress editor, and so anything that you're used to doing with regard to adding links, adding images, you'll be able to do that here as well. Down here, for handy reference, we've put all the standard, the most popular Mailchimp merge tags. So if there's a, for example, you want to say hi first name, well, we've got that here for your reference, so so you don't have issues there. If you want to add a, we've added a functionality here to provide for automatically adding tracking links to any of your text content. So what we do is we just add a link, just like we normally would. And let's say I want this to go to my home page. All I do is click this little orange button. Once I've got my link in there, append Orbtr tracking, and boom, that is now a trackable link, and anybody who clicks this link is going to be automatically added to the leads tracker in Orbtr. And if you recall, in the configuration, we set it up where all of our template links, so those are the links that appear in the template itself, not the actual content that you add, are going to be tracked. So now the entire email is trackable. Up here, I configure my mailing list, and all of my Mailchimp mailing lists are going to be in here. I select my template, and I have 4 options. We'll choose the one with the blog post at the bottom. We'll choose the number of posts. These are blog posts that will appear at the bottom. I've got my email subject, and I've also put in a Google Analytics code. So all the links that are clicked in this email are going to be easily identified in Google Analytics. The title of the newsletter, that drives, that's how you're going to identify it in Orbtr. That's also how you're going to identify it in Mailchimp. So just to clearly demonstrate that, I'm just going to add 3/2013 to the top there. And now I'm going to hit Save Email. And what's happening when I click Save Email is that automatically this is being created as a draft in Mailchimp. I didn't have to do anything. I can also preview this if I just hit View Post. I've got my perfectly formatted email right here. I've got my blog posts, and you can see the tracking links in there. And I've got my text just as I created it. And now if I go into Mailchimp and I hit Campaigns, we're going to see that right here. And so all I need to do to finish this email is test it and schedule it for delivery. Really, really easy, and we've totally avoided the Mailchimp template editor, which isn't bad, but it's something else to manage and another application to use. We can create emails a whole lot faster in Orbtr, and we know that more than anything, time is the real difference maker in small businesses doing successful things online. So we wanted to make it absolutely as easy as possible. And that's it. You're done. It only took a couple of minutes, and you've got a email ready to go in Mailchimp. So if you hopefully this was helpful, and if you have any questions, please let us know. and visit Orbtr.net for our full library of videos. Thanks so much.